Hello and welcome to today's episode of Focus Atlanta. I am your host, Keisha Lancelin. Thanks so much for tuning in with us this Sunday afternoon. In our first segment, we're going to talk a little bit about your listening skills. I'm here with author Christine Miles.
Hi, Keisha. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks so much for coming on the show. You know what? Listening is one of those things we all think we do it perfectly, right? We all think we're great listeners, but it's really kind of not the case.
It's really not the case. And it's nobody's fault that they think they're great, and it's nobody's fault that they're not great at it. But 96% of people believe they're good listeners.
Yeah. I totally believe that. You know, I think until someone brings it to your attention, you don't realize you're talking over people. You don't realize you're anticipating the end of the question. How do we do better?
Yeah, well, we first have to understand it, and we have to understand why we're not doing better. And the biggest reason is our own brains. That's why we're not listening well. It's really the greatest enemy. So the things you just described, talking over people, thinking of our own story, rehearsing what we're saying, mind reading, that's a big problem. And those are just some of the things on the list that get in the way of us listening well. The best way to tell if you aren't listening well is just ask yourself, how are you being listened to? Because we can feel that very profoundly. It's much easier to tap into when we don't feel heard than it is to tap into when we're not hearing somebody else. But that's the first check-in, that if we do that, we could improve the problem for sure.
When we think about that first check-in, my mind immediately went to, like, my husband, my home life. But we do it at home and we do it at work. Like, is there a correlation to, you know, how we do one better than the other, or both equally bad?
Well, most of us think if we're intending to listen well that we're going to be successful. So I've had many a salesperson say, if I'm in a sales conversation with a customer, I'll listen much better than maybe to my wife or spouse or somebody at home. The reality is we fail in both circumstances because we don't know what we're missing, because we have been told to listen and not really taught how to listen. And we're just winging it. So it doesn't work that way. We have to build this muscle.
So is the book a place to get some tips? Are we going to be able to see ourselves in the pages and adjust accordingly?
Yeah, that's really my mission, is to make listening less complex, because it's a hard skill. Most people say this is not an easy thing to learn. Part of it is because we've never been taught, so it's hard to believe that you can do something that you've never been taught. But yeah, exactly, that's my mission. It's called the listening path, and that's really the path to understanding. And what are the tools that you need on the path, and what I call the conversational woods, is to not get lost on all these side trails and really to listen well. So in the book and in other aspects of what we do and how we work, we give both children and adults the tools they need so they can listen to understand.
In your research and preparing to write this book, were there surprises even for you where you're like, oh my gosh, I actually do this? You know, as you were digging deep into, you know, finding a path for clarity for the rest of us, did you in fact find some tips for yourself and for the rest of us?
It's interesting when you have to build language around something that you're already doing well. So I learned to listen very young. I grew up with a mother who had mental health issues stemming from a very early childhood loss. And so I learned at a very early age, as early as 5, that I was listening differently. So I know that I'm an Olympic athlete, as you will, in terms of the skill. But having to describe it, write it, and make it so simple has helped even me become even more proficient and efficient, much like great athletes do when they get a coach. They learn even those little nuances that make the big difference.
Oh my goodness, just speaking to you, I'm having like little light bulb moments in the back of my head. To that end, is there a place where we can go and learn more about the book? Where can we get the book? Is there a website where we can tap in, connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's The Listening Path, the path to understanding, thelisteningpath.com.
Thank you so much for making time for us today. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, thank you.
All right, guys, we can all do better in the area of listening. I mean, it does not matter how old you are. I don't think we ever get as proficient as we could be. Sometimes it just takes a little knowledge and taking the opportunity to look and evolve. So take the opportunity to go to the website and get the book. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to this segment of Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back with more.